sad, but I can't do it alone.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to UView. We hope you all had a fantastic summer and are looking forward to the beginning of the school year. We definitely are. The UView team is so excited to continue bringing you amazing content with new producers and editors working on Season 2. But before we get ahead of ourselves, we put together a special season review we want to share with you. In this episode, we share our favorite memories and proudest segments as we reflect upon our highlights from the past year. Be sure to stick around for the conclusion and join us in wishing UView's creator, Sam Dieringer, farewell. Let's get started.
We all got involved in this show in different ways. I feel like, talking about that could be a good thing. Does anybody want to start?
Well, I actually saw, me and Jasper were pretty good friends before UView started, and I saw you got involved, and just watching the whole process play out over time, I thought it was something really cool, and I thought I wanted to get involved with it, and I'm definitely glad I did. It's been such an amazing experience, and I'm so glad that you did it in the first place, because I never would have gotten involved.
So at the beginning of the year, I joined the school newspaper. And Sam came to talk to the newspaper at one of our meetings about UView just because we're also reporters, and he figured that was actually really smart. Just because, there might be some people who are also interested in broadcast journalism. So I emailed him afterwards, which I'm so glad that I did that because it honestly changed my life.
I've always been interested in photography and producing of shows. And Jasper told me about the show, and I looked it up. I've heard about it a little bit before. And I watched some videos, and I thought this was a really cool opportunity. It was very unique, and the team was so welcoming. Even though I was like the last person on, I feel like a part of the group, and it's such an awesome experience and such a great community.
I think what's really cool about you three too is you all got kind of involved in slightly different ways, and I think that's a really good message, and it is good for the future of this show too, because the way that we recruit and the message that we want to promote in the show is to get people from different areas of the school involved in different ways on the show and sort of culminate something together that reflects the collective AHS community. Speaking of that foundation, we made a lot of fun segments on this show, and there's going to be a lot of fun segments to come too. I don't know, what was your favorites? I really want to hear about this.
My favorite segment was the Student Stories segment that I did with the leaders of the Asian American Coalition.
Yeah.
That one actually turned into its own kind of special episode because it ran so long, because there was just so much, again, passion that these students had to share about this topic. And it was personally just so eye-opening. Yeah. And their passion just it really came through. And I was so honored to be able to talk to them about this. And it was fantastic.
Well, my favorite that I made personally, I loved, I did a great segment on the Capitol Theater, an A-Town Scoop segment. And I'm super proud of the fact that we actually got to get inside of the Capitol Theater and interview the actual manager of the theater. I think that's amazing, and that's definitely my proudest segment.
I know that you did another A-Town Scoop.
Yeah, I think that was my favorite segment as well. Just like I've always been passionate about biking and stuff, and I felt like I could, inform people about something as well as help out. It's a confusing area, and the Minuteman Bikeway is such an important part of Arlington. So I thought it was really a cool segment, and it was so incredible that everybody was there, and we had a drone even. It was really crazy. It was really fun.
And that was your first segment too.
I know.
Seriously, that was a pretty tour de force of a first segment. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, adding on to Sam, what you were saying earlier about the main message that UView is trying to send, I feel like UView is a really great place and outlet for students to share their passion, and I feel like Petru and Aiden are both people who are also really passionate about the things that they do. And I think that's just an awesome thing about UView.
Yeah, and it's cool that it's morphed over time. Kind of, Aiden, like you mentioned, the segment started out as more kind of like a standard news report, kind of like the Ponder Scope in a way. And I think it really has reflected the creativity of everybody when you see the segment kind of shape-shifting over time, like, with the, your passion with like bike lanes and traffic and transportation and, going into the Capitol Theater. I think it's really honestly, it's changed for the better. And I think the more people that have gotten involved, the more interesting and intriguing and different the segment has gotten.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot of fun. Oh my gosh.
I think A-Town Scoop is probably one of the things that makes UView such a unique show. I think just the variety of things that we've done. I mean, from bike lanes to theaters to ice cream shops, like it's all over the place. And I think that's one of the segments that really makes UView stand out.
Yeah, and I love how it gets like how we've done things with different businesses too, and in a way it also has like an adverse effect of like highlighting businesses too, and like it promotes the businesses, it gets the businesses to know about what we do, and that rubs off on other businesses. So I think it's also good for the the future of the show and kind of getting us more and more interconnected with Arlington too, which the more the better, of course. How about the other, it hasn't all just been us the whole time. We've gotten some others involved before, especially, with, I know a big one is pop debates. We've had some fun times with that segment, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, one of my, although I didn't like directly produce the segment, one of my all-time favorite segments, it's almost like a series of segments in a way, is the Lewis, Gabe, Elliott tandem with the pizza debate and the parks debate, and hopefully more in the future. I think, I think it brought them and the other debaters that we've had on the show before, they bring a certain playfulness to it. I mean, I feel like with the show we have like some more serious stuff, we have some more informative stuff, and that's really like where we just let loose and have fun. And I think it adds a really cool flair to it. And
especially their parks debate.
Yeah.
That was great.
I mean, the three of them just went all out. They were amazing in that segment.
Yeah, I don't know, and I mean, we've gotten people on pop debates before, but and in kind of a different light, we've also had some really interesting discussions on student stories too. One of the first student stories interviews I did was back at before any of you actually got involved. It was back in early July with some of the leaders of the Black Student Union at the high school, and it was a really great discussion. I was expecting a lot, and I got a lot. And I think it's great that we, make a point of, talking to people from around the community and kind of getting different perspectives on things, because I feel like, I don't know, in my experience, it also I learn a lot while I'm making it.
Yeah,
so.
I feel like Student Stories has also been a great segment to diversify UView.
Definitely.
Because I know that you talked to the AWG, I think a couple times actually on Student Stories. And I know that you talked to the Young Feminist Alliance at AHS. I did interview with the Asian American Coalition and also the GSA at AHS. And that was just, I feel like Student Stories is a great way to just keep everything
Definitely.
diverse.
How about but we've talked a lot about, some of the on-screen things we've worked on together. Have there been any behind-the-scenes moments? I'm thinking any memories as we've put some of these things together, little things maybe the audience wouldn't know that were kind of fun behind the scenes. What do you think?
Petru, you wanna go?
It was really fun when we filmed the Capitol Theater.
Yeah.
The B-roll, because we were each off doing our own thing a little bit, and then we connected at the end.
Right.
And we found out that we won an award, and that was pretty special. It was really a great moment on the show.
Totally.
And it was such a fun way to end the day of shooting.
Definitely.
Yeah, I agree. That was a great moment.
I just remember when we were filming your segment about the biking and stuff. There was a while where I think maybe a couple of you were out filming, but some of us were kind of just sitting and just hanging out and talking for a little bit. And I think it's also those moments that I appreciate too. And it also reminds me we're making a show. we're like doing all this work and we're filming and we're editing and we're producing, but it's also, you know, it's the great thing about the show is we also have those moments that just like talk and hang out. It's like a little community.
I personally remember, I think it was just a normal production meeting, and I think it was around March or so, and we were preparing for the parks debate with Gabe and Lewis and Elliot, and we just kind of started like an impromptu debate with each other about the best parks in Arlington.
Yeah.
And it probably went on for like 20 minutes. We were just like, that was amazing.
That was
No,
really
it's
fun.
exactly.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
I think another thing that was personally memorable for me is my first production meeting.
Yeah.
And I was like, I hadn't ever run into high school. I was like a month into like actually being in high school. It was so, and you're a senior, and it was so just like, it was such a rush just to be there, and like kind of the first one I kind of just watched to see how everything, you know, kind of worked before I really became involved. But I don't know, that was just so memorable for me just because I could kind of see everything in front of me, but I wasn't a part of it yet.
Right.
And that was just, I don't know, personally I'm just always going to remember that feeling.
I remember the first segment that I was a part of, I didn't even come to the production meeting beforehand. I think me and you just kind of coordinated about it.
Yeah.
And then I remember actually getting to come to the production meeting, and that just adrenaline rush of being part of that and getting to come to a production meeting and, you know, just joining something bigger. It really felt amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I thought it was, coming to the first meeting, I didn't really know what to expect. Sam and I talked briefly, but, you know, it was really cool to see how everything worked, and we split off the editors and the producers, and I felt like I got to know everybody really fast. So it was really fun.
And I mean, like, there's this whole other layer with the pandemic, that we haven't even talked about yet.
The fact that we were able to produce something so amazing, even during a pandemic, makes me excited and look forward to what we can produce in the future when we're not in a pandemic anymore and we don't have those limitations, because if this is what we can do with all of these restrictions, then we must be able to do something pretty amazing.
Seriously.
Yeah.
When we don't have to worry about that.
But it sounds like the pandemic was kind of one of the reasons that you started this thing. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, I feel like part of why the show started was because of me feeling disconnected from the Arlington community, from the greater community. And I wanted something that sort of, you know, brought everyone together in a safe way and highlighted everyone's collective creativity around town. Because I knew, you know, with like, for example, what was happening with the Black Student Union at the time, as one example, that there was really amazing stuff going on in this town, even during the pandemic, the height of the pandemic. And I felt like, you know, especially at a time when we were so separated, I wanted a way for everybody to have one place that they could all come to see kind of the collective spread of creativity throughout Arlington. So I think having the base with you and the editors and all the other people that we get involved on this show, I think is really great. And I'm excited to see like how you take this on. I'm excited to see, you know, how you get more people involved, and the more people that you get involved and the more solid the base it will be and a more diverse and interesting group of people it is, you know, I think the better. So I'm excited that, you know, we've even gotten to this point that's beyond me now. I'm excited to see where it goes. I want to take a moment here now as we wrap up to personally thank you. When I started this show, I had no idea what to think. Starting some abstract project in the middle of a global pandemic with no idea where it would go was an unorthodox move, to say the least. However, it's because of the incredible support that I've had, whether with our team of editors, to the producers, to our fantastic supervisor, Kevin Wetmore, to all of you, that this show has grown bigger than just me. And that was the goal all along. UView was made to interconnect people across Arlington and to celebrate the amazing things that all of us do every day, even amidst the most challenging times. We've accomplished so much this year, and with the show in great hands, I can't wait to see how it keeps growing for years and years to come. So thank you so much. And for the last time, On behalf of everyone, we'll see you next time.